Hello, welcome you all. I'm your educator, Ashish Anand. I'm going to discuss about the chemical control and coordination. So, this lecture will be basically focused on the chemical control and coordination, and we also called it as the endocrinology, chemical control and coordination. This lecture will cover the basic of the this chapter and will go to the advanced level. The structure of this content is entirely focused on the NEET level. We learn this chapter in such a manner that we can cover the simple problem also and with the analytical problem whenever it is asked. Like this year in 2025, the paper level was slightly up. So concerning to that point, we'll cover the entire chapter. So let's come to the point. Chemical control and coordination. What is mean by this two term chemical control and coordination? So what is coordination basically? Let's start with the coordination term. So after looking this, the coordination, we know that our body is composed of different type of organ system. We are the most advanced animals, and we have evolved the one of the finest organ system in all of the aspects, like whether it is respiratory, digestive, whether it is circulatory, excretory system. And though all the complex structure of these organ system, there are trillion of cells which are involved in formation of these structures, and a complex phenomena is seen all across the organ system. So basically, these organ system are performing their role in maintaining the homeostasis, and the homeostasis maintenance is in such a way that they're not interfering the other systems, like simultaneously our respiratory system is working, circulatory system is working, excretory system is working. So let's take these three systems. So our respiratory system is working, okay, fine. Excretory system is working, okay, fine. Circulatory system is working, fine. So let's take these three examples that all these systems are working simultaneously, and we know that there's no interference in this in the function of the excretory system by other two, circulatory or respiratory system, okay. And we also see that this uh, when respiratory system is working, this excretory and circulatory system is not interfering the function of this respiratory system, and when the circulatory system is working, other two respiratory and excretories are not interfering their functions. So we can see that there is a rhythmic activity is seen without interference, and this is the coordination, that different organs are working simultaneously without interfering other functions. This is the coordination, okay. So what is coordination? Different organ systems or cells are working without interference by other. This is the coordination. Okay, so without by interference by others. So this is the coordination that let's say A, B, C, three type of organ systems are working, three types of cells are working, but they are not interfering the function of other cells, other organ systems. And in this way that we can say that different organ systems are working, but there is no interference is seen. Now let's move to the next. So after coordination, there are two major systems which are having their role in this coordination, control and coordination. And we have known so far that there are two major organ system, okay, that we have seen. One of the nervous system, okay, we'll see it in later lectures, the nervous system, and the another is the endocrine system. Okay, so this nervous system and the endocrine systems are two major organ systems which are having their role in coordination. That is their major, these are major control and coordinating center, okay, of our body. So in this lecture we'll totally focus on this endocrine system, but to know about the nervous system is actually what we can say that this is the system which gives a fast and accurate response, fast and accurate response. So how this nervous system is having their role, we'll discuss in details when we'll touch this chapter. Right now we are only concerned with the endocrine system. So this endocrine system, now let's move to this endocrine system, another coordinating center of the body. Okay, so what is endocrine system? What is endocrine system? Oh, before starting to the endocrine system, let's have a discussion on the glands. You know that in tissue chapter or wherever you have already, if already you have learned about the glands, you know that the glands are structures which have secretory role, structures which have secretory roles. These are called as glands. These glands can be either endocrine gland or the exocrine gland. Okay, so glands are basically of two types, the endocrine gland and exocrine gland. Now, what is endocrine gland and what is exocrine gland? So the both are the secretory structures, both are formed by cluster of cells, and its cells are secretory in nature. They secrete chemicals. The chemicals secreted by the endocrine gland is hormone. But the exocrine gland majorly secretes enzymes. But different type of chemicals are also secreted like saliva, tears, sweat, etc. That is, the exocrine gland can secrete enzymes, saliva, tears, sweat, and endocrine gland. The major secretion of the endocrine gland is called as hormone, and we are concerned with this hormone only. Okay. So our main goal here is about hormone. Now, what is the key difference in this endocrine gland and exocrine gland? Why we are saying it as one of the gland is endocrine and the other one is exocrine? What is the key behind this statement? So, if it is endocrine gland is also called as ductless gland. Okay, endocrine gland is called as ductless gland. There is no duct for their transport. So if it is endocrine gland, it will secrete hormone, and endocrine gland lack this duct, so it is called as ductless gland. And if there is no duct, that this hormone is secreted from the endocrine gland and poured into the blood. The secretion is poured directly into the blood. Okay, the two major point is here that there is no duct in this endocrine gland, and the chemical secretion, which is hormone secreted by the endocrine gland, is directly secreted into the blood. Okay, but this is not the exactly same case for exocrine gland. These are gland with ducts. They secrete their chemicals into that duct and transported through these ducts. So endocrine gland, which is a ductless gland, and their secretion is directly poured into blood, and blood is the medium which is a key player in the transport of this endocrine product, that is hormone. But this is not the same case with exocrine gland. The gland secretion is either enzyme, saliva, tears, etc., whatever, but the glands secretion are basically secreted into the duct, and through this duct the these chemicals are transported through this duct. This chemical is transported to their target. So this is basic about the endocrine and exocrine gland, the difference. Now we'll focus solely on the endocrine gland and the hormone. Okay, so the main purpose of the study is basically the endocrine gland. So we have different type of endocrine glands in our body, and so our body has different type of glands. our body has different types of glands, and thus thus different types of hormones. These glands are located distantly, and they secrete their own chemicals. Thus different types of hormones are secreted in our body, and all these endocrine glands constitute the endocrine system. All these endocrine glands constitute the endocrine system. Endocrine system. So the endocrine system is basically the collection of these different glands which secrete hormones. The study of this endocrine system and the hormone is known as endocrinology. The study is known as endocrinology. Okay. The study of this endocrine system and the hormone is known as endocrinology. So whoever have first termed this endocrinology, known as the father of this endocrine system, endocrinology, and it is Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison is the father of endocrinology. The substance, as we have seen, that the substance secreted by this endocrine system is hormone. So let's come to the point that these glands, different types of gland, about the different types of glands. So these endocrine glands are basically, these endocrine glands are organized structure, and you should also know that these are the organized structure and found in our body at a restricted site, that is their distribution is restricted, their distribution is restricted. Okay. Distribution is restricted, they are not found here and there scattered in our body, rather than they are localized at a particular site. That's why we are saying that these are organized structure but restricted with certain location. But our body may also have some non-organized structures. Some non-organized structures, some non-organized structures may also have their role as endocrine, and these are our GIT, kidney, heart. They are actually mainly involved in their functions related with their specificity, but they also show some endocrine property. That's why we are saying that these are non-organized structure which are having their role in endocrine system also, like GIT, kidney, heart, also liver. So these are the structure which are having their role in endocrine system. So the product of this endocrine system is hormone. So what is hormone basically? Now come to the point, hormone. Come to the point, hormone. What is hormone? So hormone is the intercellular chemical messenger. The latest definition of hormone is the non-nutritive intercellular chemical messenger which is produced in trace amount. Which is produced in trace amount. Okay, so for hormone I have listed here three different terms, that is the non-nutritive intercellular chemical messenger and produced in trace amount. So for hormone must be non-nutritive, which is after its consumption it will give no energy. So non-nutritive basically whenever the nutrition term is there, so nutrition is there. So why do we need nutrition? Because of mainly we need energy and for growth and development. Okay, so after consumption of the nutritive substance it fulfill the energy demand and it supplement our growth and development. But hormones are the non-nutritive, that is it is not involved in either of the energy generation and neither it is involved in growth and development. The intercellular chemical messenger, the term intercellular is not intracellular. So intercellular is that if it is secreting from A, it will target B. That is our source is this and this is our target. So after secreting from cell A, it will target to cell B, and that's why we are saying this as intercellular chemical messenger. That is, this hormone is chemical and acting as messenger, that is sending signals from A to B and targeting different cells rather than its secretion site. That's why we are saying it as intercellular chemical messenger, and it is produced in trace amount, that is very little amount of hormone is secreted. Very little amount of hormone is secreted, and that's why we are saying it as it is chemical which is produced in the trace amount. Now moving ahead with the topic hormone, let's come to the point, the type of hormone. So for type of hormone, we have different type of hormone. Okay, so basically we are saying that the hormone is of chemical in nature. So if it is chemical in nature, that means obviously it will show the chemical properties like the major chemicals of our body is the lipid, the amine, amino acid, the protein, peptide. Okay, so these are the chemicals. So based on that, we are now dividing the hormones. So types of hormones. Based on chemical nature. Based on chemical nature, we okay. So we are having this as the type of hormones that the major type can be like it can be either amine, or can be either lipid, or it can be either protein in nature. So based on that, we know that a lipid is butter insoluble, and amine and protein is butter soluble. So the first category of this hormone is like it may be butter soluble, and it may be butter insoluble. Okay, so if it is butter insoluble, we may also say that this is lipid soluble. Lipid soluble, right? So the main category is butter soluble and the lipid soluble. Next thing is that if it is butter soluble, it will have a different category. Two major category. One is the amine, and other is the peptide and the protein. Other is peptide or protein. But in case if it is lipid soluble, it may be either a steroid, or it may be either a thyroid. So lipid soluble hormone is also called as a steroid hormone or thyroid hormone. Now, see, example of the amine derivative is the epinephrine, epinephrine and norepinephrine. Okay, now come to the thyroid hormone. The example is the thyroxine hormone, which is either T3 or T4. And if it is steroid in male, it may be testosterone, it may be estrogen in female, it may be progesterone, so it may be testosterone, estrogen and progesterone in male. These two are in females, and these two, the glucocorticoids and mineralocorticoids. So these two hormones are found in the male and female both. And now the rest of the hormones are either of peptide or protein nature, like the anterior pituitary hormone, growth hormone, LH, FSH. These two are the gonadotropins. The prolactin, okay, the ACTH, TSH, oxytocin. This is from posterior pituitary, and the ADH or vasopressin. So, and other remaining hormones will also fall in this category. So after remembering that the amine derivative hormone is the epinephrine, and the thyroid hormone, which is lipid soluble, is thyroxine. Some of the steroid hormone, there are 5: the testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, glucocorticoids and mineralocorticoids. These are the steroidal hormone. Rest of the hormones are of peptide or protein nature. The main target of our overall study is to assess the information and excel our information excellence. So this is all about for today's lecture. We'll now cover up in next lecture about the mechanism of hormone action. So our next goal is to learn mechanism of hormone action. After completing this chapter, we'll also cover the NCERT of this uh, mechanism, overall the chapter of the chemical control and coordination. So we stick with this channel. Like, do subscribe and share this channel for more information and for your upcoming preparation. Thank you for right now. We'll meet next with the mechanism of hormonal action. Thank you.